So with teal and duck season coming up very quickly, we've got to do some preparation work. As you guys know, I use my kayak to duck hunt all the time, and I just recently got this canoe. This is my Old Town Discovery 119. We call it the Duckscovery here on this channel. But this is probably going to become my new everyday hunting boat. If you want to call it a boat, that's an ongoing argument with my fiance. She said they're not boats. I say they are boats. It's whatever. But anyway, this is probably going to become the boat that I hunt out of most of the time during duck season. I haven't duck hunted out of it yet, so don't know for sure, but there's a few things that we got to do to it to get it ready for duck and teal season. So the first thing is we got to take the seat out. Yeah, it's great for fishing, but for duck hunting it's not. I've got to take it out because I've got a redhead kayak blind that fits this canoe extremely well, and it kind of turns it from sitting up to more of a layout boat style thing. It's blind, it hides up really good. I've made a video with it once before, so I'll leave a link to that up here. So along with taking the seat out of the canoe to make it fit the blind, we're also going to be adding some light bars to this canoe. So my friends over at Oxbeam decided to hook me up with some lights here for this canoe, and I'll leave a link to them in the description of this video if you guys want to go check them out. But I've had these lights on my kayak, so I'm guessing they're gonna work just as well on this canoe. And the setup for these lights is gonna be a lot easier in comparison to the kayak because I didn't want to drill into the kayak, but with the canoe, it's got this thing here on the end. It's got an end cap or something. Basically, I can just drill straight through it and grab the bolt and tighten it up. No problems at all. With the kayak, that wouldn't have been as easy. So here's a look at these lights. I've got two of them. So pretty basic LED pods. They're not the side shooters like I put on my trailer. These ones are just regular old floods, and we'll put two of them here on the front, and hopefully we can light up the night and go shoot some ducks. So first things first, let's get the seat out of the canoe. It's gonna be 4 screws with some nuts on the ends. It should go pretty quick. Okay, seat is out. It was really quick and easy, like I said. If you wanna see an actual detailed instructional of how to do this, that video that I did when I first did this has it in a little bit more detail, but basically there's a little plastic cap here on the end, a nut and a washer, and then a screw. Pretty quick and easy. Put a socket on there and a drill, and out she pops. 4 screws, and that's about it. So now we've got to really think about these lights and where we want to put them. I'm gonna I've got a tape measure and a pencil, so I'm gonna mark where I'm gonna drill through. But to put the lights on, they come with a mounting system. So we've got a few things in here. You got 2 lock washers, a long bolt, a short bolt, and a nut. So the way this works is I will put, oh my gosh, I'm dropping everything everywhere here. So the way that these mounts work, it's pretty easy. You take the long bolt, you run it through the mount, and then you put the long bolt through the hole that you're gonna drill in the boat, and then you put your lock washer on, and then your nut, and then also you put this short bolt through the mount and attach it to this little nut that slides around in there. So pretty easy system. You can just go ahead. I've got another lock washer here. There we go. Put that lock washer on that short nut, and then kind of tighten that down right there. So I want it to be able to slide a little bit, and then I'll tighten it up more later once it's all kind of on there. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So we got to drill a hole and also measure where we want these things because there are 2 of them. It looks like where I want to put them is about 9 inches across, so I'll try and space them out pretty evenly. It is so freaking hot. Holy crap. I always pick the hottest days to do things in the garage. Good start. Where is my mark? Well, that's easy. That was a really easy hole to drill. Is that a big enough hole? No, we gotta go one bigger than that. 5/16. There she blows. 1 and 2. So what I'm wanting to do here is make it so then these cords go down through this hole in the handle, and then I'll put my battery box up underneath there. But I could also drill another hole that goes straight down in there, but we'll try it like this. We can always go back and drill another hole. No big deal. So let's get these tightened on. So the great thing about these lights, and that I noticed last year, is when you're paddling a kayak through anywhere at night, it can get pretty sketch, not gonna lie. And having these kind of lights on the front make a huge difference. Because when I first started duck hunting out of a kayak, I was just using a headlamp. Wasn't a super bright headlamp, and not gonna lie, it was kind of spooky. Like when you're not used to paddling a kayak at night, and you know, it can be kind of spooky. So having these lights on the front, they kind of cast out enough lights where it really lights up everything around you. You won't hit anything. You're gonna be able to know exactly where you're going. Because when you got a headlamp on, I remember the first time one of the first times I went into a marsh, I didn't have lights on the front, and I was just doing one big circle paddling through, and I got lost. I had to look on my phone. I'm like, holy crap, I'm way down here. I thought I was going over there. So having these lights on the front really kind of helps you know exactly where you're going, because it's easy to get lost at night, especially when you're paddling, and these make a really big difference. What I'm doing right now is just tightening these bolts that hold the light to the bracket. I need to tighten that down more. And then tightening these bolts underneath that hold the bracket to the boat. But it is kind of nice to be able to angle them just a tad. We'll try and get this thing as tight as possible. All right, that looks pretty darn good. Yeah, so these lights are firmly attached, so they're not gonna really get in the way, and if I wanna take them off, I totally can. Just undo these bolts right here, zip them right on out. That's that. Now we gotta get the wiring harness all hooked up. These lights come with a wiring harness that looks like this. And I'm gonna just do the same thing that I did for my kayak, because it seemed to work out really well. And the first thing to do is, you see these? These are the things that connect to your battery. And these connectors, no good for us. We don't want these. So we'll just go ahead and cut them off. And then we'll strip these wires as best as we can. I don't have wire strippers. I really need to figure out what tools I need to get, because I just put an offer in on a house with my fiance, so we're gonna probably be moving here pretty soon, getting out of the parents' house. All right, so what I just put on here was one of those female end spade connectors, and that's because the battery that I use, these will just plug right on there, no problem at all. The wiring harness works like this. You connect the wiring harness to the battery. It's got a relay that goes to the on button, and then it's also got a wire that goes to the lights. So this one's got those same female end adapters on there, on this for both of the lights. So this will connect right up in there. So what I like to do, I just snip these off, wire them together, and then tape everything on top of it. I want to make sure that's good and snug. And again, over here, I'm using these little like in one end, crimp the middle kind of connectors here. And then we'll go back over it and tape them, just so then they don't really get too beat up. Okay. We've got our two connectors for the battery. We have connected these two wires here to one of the lights. We'll tape those, but we gotta work on number 2. And what I'm gonna do here, just so that I have less wires just running around in the boat, we're gonna just cut that off right there. No problem at all. So now we've just gotta carefully Probably you should have a knife, but I don't. Just gotta connect these two. That should be really easy. I can find the things I need. So we'll go ahead, slide this bad boy on there just like that. Give it a good cramp. We'll do another one just to be safe. Boom. And here's my other one. Give that a little bit of a twist there, twist there. White to red. Don't forget that again, Josh. Wrap it all in there. So then, if it does get tugged on a little bit, it won't be the end of the world. So the battery and the battery box that I use is, I just use this little ammo box, and then the battery is just a deer feeder battery. It's a 12 volt, 7.5 amp hour for 20 hours. And so this is when those little spade connectors for our battery terminals is important, because you can just slide these on here. We'll go negative first and slide that on, snaps in, and then we'll go positive. If I did everything right, both of these lights should be working, and they are. So that's great. And yeah, so what I do here, there's a lot of other crap inside this box right now, but I usually just tuck the excess wires inside the box. I should probably like cut a little groove for this wire to come out. You can shut it and then store it up in the front, and then I usually leave the remote out, but I'll have to find out a different system for this canoe. I bet you if I got creative, I could probably, I don't know. It's such an open hole. Like on my kayak, I open the hatch to put the battery box inside the front hatch, and this one doesn't have it, so I could just easily leave the clicker inside the box and not even have to worry about it getting wet or anything like that. So, all right, I think the duck Discovery is ready to be used for some duck hunting. This project took a little bit longer than I would like it to have. It's very simple in concept, but having the proper tools for the job makes a big difference. And I don't have very many tools, to be real honest, and my dad doesn't have many tools, so made do with what I had. I'm pretty unorganized right now because I am kind of between housing arrangements, so hopefully I can get this house here pretty soon. But these lights look really good. They're mounted really good. I can loosen up some bolts and adjust them to angle them however I want them to. I've got to figure out next what I'm going to do about the battery box down in here, but I think I could leave it just pretty much in the nose of the boat and it should be just fine. So yeah, like I was saying, having lights on the front makes a huge difference, and if you guys want to pick up these lights, I'll leave a link to them in the description of this video. If you guys like this video, be sure to leave me a big old thumbs up. It means a lot when you guys do that. And if you guys want to, you guys can follow me on my social media. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. So be sure to follow me on there and stay up to date with what's going on. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this little project video, and I'm looking forward to teal season. I'll catch you guys on the next one.